What's up, PanDeSoul?
You're listening to the PanDeSoul podcast.
Join us as we unpack the flavors of being Filipino
and American. We're your hosts, Dre Magix, the fictitious professor, and EJ Villaman.
And we hope you're hungry.
Because there's plenty to go around. What's up, Pandies? Welcome back to the PanDeSoul podcast, the funniest podcast in the world with the most knee-touching, also known as the Gap podcast, the Guapo and Pogi, the Guava Apple Pineapple, and the Gangster and Prankster podcast.
Gago and Pangit.
There we go, all
That's
of them. Today we have a special guest, fresh off his online fight. You thought I was gonna say special?
You
thought he also shot a comedy special.
And this fool talking about my fight.
But also one of my greatest friends, stand-up comedian Erick Esteban.
Hey. What's up, guys?
What's up? So let's just jump into it, bro. PanDeSoul versus the internet. So we've been posting a lot of stuff, as you all know, for the millions of you following us. And you know, some of y'all be throwing hate comments, and you have like a similar situation with an internet personality, and like commenting through their shit, right? Like it's
it started with me commenting, like I wanted to respond to one of his videos, because I don't know, and probably everybody's seen this video, because some Filipino sites, no shade, yes shade, but
what sites?
Here's the umbrella.
Nah, I'd rather not. I don't want to, like single
Track
anybody
patrol?
out. Rather than
Okay, time out. So, what is it?
Nothing important.
No, what
What
do you
is that?
fucking say? Man,
Oh,
I just want to be included.
What happened? I missed it too.
I know, y'all be whispering shit.
Dre said, "What kind of sites?" And then I said, "Track patrol."
Track patrol. No, but like but like some Filipino sites were posting this video of him where he's like, in the Philippines, you don't say, "Hey, excuse me," or "Pardon me," or "I'd like to say something," whatever it is, or
Right.
you're not polite. You say, "Ha ha 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 ha," and it's like, really, this motherfucker's laughing.
Yeah.
But it's funny. Okay, I'm not gonna say that it's not funny.
It's
It
not.
is.
Right.
It's
Time out.
funny, but at the same time, it's funny if maybe an actual Filipino were to say the joke and degrade us in that way. Because self-degrading jokes, that's literally all my shit. I make fun of myself. That's all I do. But when somebody else is doing it and then putting it in a way where you're like, what, hold on, homie. Like,
Yeah.
you got to give me your resume
What the-
before...
Yeah.
You
Yeah, it
can
was
justify saying that joke, then I gotta take a pause.
Yeah,
Well, like-
it was like a punch down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, coming from like comedy, right? I think the thing that makes that funny is you're connecting with a like-minded person.
Exactly.
Right.
Empathy is what makes that joke
Right.
funny.
But if it's coming from a source that doesn't look like me,
It's judging.
it's almost it's punching down. It's degrading, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's mockery, right?
And then when you go down deeper into it, and I responded to it, and all I responded with, I don't like to like go into it. I don't like long TikToks anyway, like or anything like that. But what I did was I responded. I was like, "Yo, stop colonizing, colonizer." And that was the video.
Right.
Click, done. That was my response.
Yeah.
And then he DM'd me and says, "Colonizers erase the culture. I'm lifting it up." And I was
Incorrect.
like, Incorrect. You're
Incorrect.
not lifting it up, homie.
Incorrect.
Right.
Well, they don't even erase the culture.
Correct. Colonizers do not erase the culture. In fact, colonizers take from the culture what they like, put it on display for their culture,
Right.
and then claim it as their own, which is
Right.
basically exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then I responded back again. But this time I didn't respond back because then homie tried to follow me. Because that's what a lot of these cats do.
They
is
want to
they'll-
see what you're about.
They were like,
and
they're
all
going to
this
try to
stuff.
follow me. And to be honest, homie, like the latest video that I saw during the conflict, he basically stole Joe Coy's rice joke about how you make rice with your finger and the whole thing. Like he stole that joke almost verbatim as his video and claimed it as his own. So the last thing I wanted to do was have this blue-eyed devil stealing my jokes off the internet.
Yeah,
like the next thing he's gonna be talking about the Ewoks or whatever else that all my material. So I'm like, the last thing you steal jokes from somebody else. Don't steal jokes from me. Don't follow me. And so I sent him a DM and I'm like, you make me not. I'm not speaking to you when I'm talking about stop colonizing colonizer. I'm speaking to the Filipinos that watch you.
Right.
I know I can't stop you from doing what you're doing and colonizing what you're colonizing because you're already entitled to do whatever the hell you want to do because you already feel that. Because when you boil down to it, people from his high school started reaching out to me.
Oh, damn.
And talking about, homie, he was a missionary in high school and he's a Marine. So this guy's a military dude from the Philippines
the more
talking about he's not a colonizer.
The more it proves the point that
Exactly.
of course it is.
Yeah, it felt very much like the token white husband energy, where it's like, okay, trying to be funny,
But he's not even married to a Filipina.
Yeah.
it felt very just like
Like he talked, like his
stupid,
reasoning for doing his videos, and this is just from his DMs. I can show you the screenshots if you don't believe me. I saved them because you never know with some white folks. I'm just saying.
Could you send those to us so I can put them on the?
I will definitely. I'll send them to
overlay.
you. No, but like he said that there weren't a lot of Filipinos where he lived, so he wanted to stay fluent
In the
Tagalog.
Philippines?
No. Where he lives currently. I don't know where he lives currently. Maybe it's Ohio. I don't know where the fuck he lives.
Right.
But wherever he lives currently, there weren't a lot of Filipinos, and he was losing his fluency in Tagalog, so he started making these videos to keep himself fluent. And I was like, nah, you're making these videos to steal clout from other Filipinos, and you're stealing jokes from other Filipinos, and you're a punk. But that's just my opinion. Again, all these things, everything I'm saying right now, this is my opinion. Y'all like Tagalog Kurt? You want to watch Tagalog Kurt? Do whatever you want to do. I can't stop Tagalog Kurt from doing what he's doing.
Right.
That's for sure. That's not something I'm.
This makes me
He's got
mad.
100,000 followers. I got 3. So
right. Yeah,
How's
and
that
then
even work?
And then I've also seen
What
because some of his content will come up in my algorithm. He's trying to be more. It seems like he's trying to be more like educational for some because obviously your video had a lot of like backlash. So it seems like he's trying to do some sort of redemptive.
no, because
art, but it's like-
even when he's trying to be educational, homie, you can watch the Ancestral Brew.
right.
Go to Ancestral Brew and the video where he literally
Time out.
took word for word.
Yeah.
He took his video and made it his own using the dialogue that Ancestral Brew used in his video. He literally lifted it.
Right.
And then Ancestral Brew edited the video where he showed how Kurt lifted his video and used the audio and dialogue
So
from his video.
We're on his Instagram profile right now. So it's Tagalog Kurt, sharing my eyes and heart for the Philippines. Okay, cool. It says Siopao ako, which makes no sense even if you are Filipino.
Homie, the thing that pisses me the most off about him is he calls himself, what does he call himself? Your kuya,
Ew.
your big brother.
And then time out. And then there's like
That
fucking
that
alibata
irks
in
me
the
every
flag.
time he says it, bro. Every time I hear that word kuya come out of his mouth,
Man,
it pisses me off.
that's triggering in a romantic
It's
sense.
yeah, it is a little bit. It makes your dick move a little bit,
Yeah,
right?
it does. A little bit to the other side.
I don't. You know what? For something like this, and the reason why we got a lot of slack on one of our videos, because we made a video and the kind of internet went, oh fuck it, I'm an expert in everything, right? Because we were building off your thing with Tagalog Kurt. We were here with Mitch, and then we started talking about Jeff Zakarian and the parsley and the adobo, and then we said our piece, and the internet just like flooded our shit. First of all, thank you for the comments. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Please.
for real. That's
More
what people
comments.
don't realize.
Yeah.
Whenever they want to, they can say whatever animosity they want to say.
Yeah.
All of the comments bring more
Attention.
to us. So
To
that's
whatever it
that.
is.
I'm happy for it.
Yeah.
Say whatever shitty thing you want to say to me because I might respond to it a bit. I might just laugh at it and enjoy the fact that you're helping me be part of the algorithm.
For sure. And like for all you keyboard warriors that are they're so anonymous behind the screen that like, yo, what's wrong in your life that you need to fucking like clap on our shit where clearly comedy podcast.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Totally
but
not
sometimes we
serious.
talk real shit.
No, but but the thing is that I feel like the best comedy is when you talk about real shit.
Yeah.
Right.
So for me, like, if somebody's commenting and doesn't agree with it, that just only thing that proves is that you can't please everybody.
Right.
Because there's a lot of people who enjoyed the videos that I made about Tagalog Kurt, and like the support. We can dwell on the shitty comments and the bad comments. Yeah, I got a lot of hate comments.
Oh yeah.
And most of them were unfortunately from Filipinos. Like most of them develop, and I'm just like, hashtag decolonize your mind.
But like,
because it
real
really
shit,
is. It really is.
It's so hard to within the Filipino, like, of all the Filipinos in the world, right? They're so divided with each other in terms of anything, right? You have an opinion, and they feel so strongly about a thing, right? That's why a lot of Filipinos voted for who you should have voted for, right? Even here or in the Philippines,
I'll say this, okay? Here's what I'll say, and I'm not gonna try and group and stereotype people and whatever else, but the most hate that I got from the Tagalog Kurt videos, when you dive deeper and you check the profile of the comment, it's a Filipino Trump supporter.
Yeah.
And I'm not scared to say it. I'll say his name. His motherfucker ain't Voldemort. Filipino Trump supporters, to me,
don't say that name.
are the dumbest form of Filipino American in all of all.
Oh, yeah.
They're the dumbest.
You're the
ones who
you're the
think that,
henchman of the supervillain.
no, homie, you think that the supervillain is going to let you in his club when
No.
he's literally his job is to exclude you.
Yeah.
Like, you're dumb. And go ahead and fill the hate comments on this podcast, because I'd love for you to make this. No, but
Yeah,
it's
blow
true.
this
Like,
one up too.
Yeah, but yeah.
Thank
no,
you.
but like
Sponsors.
no, but for real, like I it's perfectly encapsulated by the one dude who was at the January 6th riots that was repping Filipinos. Remember that dude? And he had a mask on, and you didn't know his face, but he had the Filipino shield, and what else did he have in his hand? He had the walis, because he knew his job was to clean up after those white folk. He knew where his place was,
Yeah.
and that's those Filipinos. They know where their place is in as far as this white supremacist hierarchy.
Just like real quick, what is the? I mean, the ultimate goal is to prevent shit like this, right?
Yeah,
But
for sure.
is there a pathway to that, or is it just like people gonna be fucking stupid people? Like, what is the education pipeline that needs to happen?
I almost got to look at it like this. Like, for instance, when I was in high school, the dude that taught Spanish in high school was a white dude who happened to have traveled in Mexico during his college thing, right?
Okay.
And, like, nobody in the 90s came at this white high school Spanish teacher saying, like, motherfucker, you're cultural appropriating our culture,
Yeah.
right? So at the end of the day, I got to look at it like, okay, this cat wants to proliferate and profit from Tagalog culture. Am I going to support it? No. But are Filipinos of a certain mindset going to support it? Yeah. And can I stop it? No. So
I think the system's gonna balance itself out eventually, where that stuff, if you think of that stuff as like poisonous, eventually it'll dilute, because like now there are people calling that shit out, and there are people like standing up for it, right? No matter how you want to do it, in the militant way, in the comedic way, there's people that are gonna start calling shit like that out.
But unfortunately, there's still Filipino American news networks that cover and make it a national news bulletin
sure.
that a white dude can speak Tagalog.
For sure.
It
might not happen in our lifetime, but I think eventually it'll dilute itself out. You know what I mean?
But I don't think that we can wait for the dilution.
Oh, no, we have to be part of that process.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we're doing this whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like,
exactly.
the fuck? Yeah, because I know on our video, okay, so the way I personally deal with hate comments, I really think, I'm like, hey man, thanks for the support, really, right? So there's two kinds of things that I'll like see, and there's one that I'll fight for, right? We recently put out that Bears video.
Yeah.
Where we just did all the bear dad jokes, right? Dry bear, but it was like a fun thing, right?
Sure.
And all the comments were like, this is so corny, this is whatever, and I'm like,
that's the point.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
with comedy
You got it on
podcasts, right? So I'll just leave that shit alone, because I know they're like, that's like when your friends make a joke, you're like, oh, you're so stupid, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I tune into that. But when we do the thing with Mitch, where like a parsley doesn't go on adobo, as the hook line, right? It fucking
It really doesn't.
First
you
of
don't
all-
put parsley on adobo.
Yeah,
you
but-
put the bay leaves. That's it.
Right,
That's
right,
the only
but-
greenish
but, like,
thing you put on there.
real quick.
and even
first
that's
of
like a
all-
brownish
Yeah.
green.
Right.
First of all, put whatever the fuck you want on your adobo.
That's
like,
true.
Like,
I mean-
we're gonna future Drake.
But
clip
just don't
this.
call it adobo and make a video
That was
of
the
it.
argument.
Right.
Yeah.
So the argument was, don't remix the thing and call it authentic on national television.
Yeah, say this
where
is
you're-
my spin on
Right,
Filipino adobo with my own
And the
shit.
internet didn't get it, and they're like, "Oh, I'm a chef and I want to make fusion." I'm like, "Fuse whatever the fuck you
Oh my
want,
God.
bro. Just like,
oh my god!
if you call it authentic, you're doing a disservice to your own culture
and
because
you're doing a disservice to yourself because you're lying to your
Right.
people that you're making food to
Yeah.
because it's not authentic. If
And-
you're making it authentic, then make it as authentic as you possibly can.
Right.
And if it's something that you're putting a spin on, then call it fusion or
like
your
altered or my
yeah.
take
or
or, like
whatever the
inspired
hell
by
else,
something
or
completely
is it
different.
cake or whatever the
Inspiration.
fuck you want to call it. I don't
But
give a
also, like,
shit.
that way of thinking is like, oh, that it'll be fine way of thinking is the reason why no one can centralize indigenous Filipino script right now, right? Like, yeah, there's Alibata and Baybayin and all this stuff. How do you know it's real? Like, how do you know it's super authentic?
And I remember because I have Babayan script on my back. I tattooed it, but I translated
You
it
did it
myself.
yourself?
So it's totally wrong. I know it's wrong,
You tattooed
but
it
at the
yourself?
same time, I did it. I did it myself. Not I didn't tattoo it myself, but I drew the design myself that was going to be tattooed on my
Yeah.
back, and then some Babayan experts came up after me when I posted pictures, and they were like, "That's wrong. That's wrong." And I go, "I know it's wrong.
Yeah.
I know it's wrong because I didn't do all the full research to know
Right.
exactly how to say destiny in
Right, right.
Babayan. But what I wanted to do was what I meant to do with the tattoo for myself, which is what tattoos to me are, very
Mm-hmm.
personal, right? It was a mesh of the Americanness in me and the Filipino-ness in me,
Yeah.
and this was the picture that I drew
Mhm.
for myself, and that's the tattoo that I wanted.
Right.
So yeah, it's wrong for you and your interpretation of it, but it's also it's not on your back, homie. So chill the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah. Just like, people
It's
just
weird.
don't know how to keep things to themselves.
Well, there's a lot of proofreaders.
Yeah.
There were proofreaders back even because like I learned a lot about the Filipino American culture, which is very different from the Filipino culture. But
Correct.
the Filipino American culture, especially, it's even different in different regions of
Yeah,
the country.
LA Bay Area.
You know,
New York,
man.
but
yeah,
like,
East
but the
Coast.
Filipino
has-
American culture, I learned so much about it when I first did Mini Pacquiao,
Mhm.
because it was the first time I got national recognition for my comedy, and people wanted me to go to other places besides where I was physically at, right? And so people want me to go here, wanted me to go there, but that was back in the day when everybody still paid with exposure. Remember that? Like, and they still try to.
Dude, I still have change from
They still,
Yeah.
they still, people still
Oh,
try to pay
expired?
with
nothing.
Yeah.
that to me. Yes, the crab mentality. Yes, the people who support Tagalog Kurt. Yes, all the colonial mentality, all that stuff. Sure, but the fact that Filipinos don't financially support other Filipinos, especially in the arts, and it's always like, oh, when's my free ticket, or where's my this, or where's my that, or you should get exposure instead of getting
Yeah.
paid for your performance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That is the biggest problem in Filipino American
Arts.
culture, in
Yeah.
arts,
Yeah,
in
for
what
sure.
happens, because you have people with a lot of money and organizations with maybe not even a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
but enough money to share, and they don't want to.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem.
Yeah, I legit
Because-
stopped asking for like, oh, Filipino discount because I realized how shitty that was just to anybody
Yeah,
who's a creator.
dude.
So even if it's like stickers or a candle or anything that's like Filipino inspired, if they have a deal where it's like, oh, follow us on Instagram and get 10% off, whatever, cool, because it's multifaceted, giving them followers, shout outs, and then like a little bit of a discount, but not like oh, give me a 25% discount because I'm also Filipino. But it's like, no, giving your dollars to helping these folks like continue their art and it being like, this is important to me and like my values and the culture, and it's like, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
them that
understanding
way.
that it'll trickle down to
Right.
everyone is such a good thing, right? Like the money you spend within that like kind of network is going to be able to help anyone who's in the Filipino arts or like crafts or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that's when we can circle back to the beginning of our conversation with dudes like Tagalog Kurt, which is where you get animosity from the Filipino community, and they're defending people like Tagalog Kurt, but they won't share that same passion and that same anger for a Filipino artist. And that's where it's like, wow, what is wrong with our mentality where we'll defend a white dude who's stealing our culture,
Right.
versus people who are actually part and of our culture
And trying to protect it.
and you're
Right.
not, and trying to protect it and lift it up and tell the stories of it, and you're not supporting it, you're not doing, and in fact in some ways you're pushing it down in favor of the white dude who's stealing your culture, which is it boggles my mind.
Yeah.
Bro, like, yeah, that's like, it's weird, like, not being part of, like, the artist community. But the best part of, like, going to all these, like, local events, though, is supporting all those, like, Filipino, or, like, the vendors. Yeah, like, we went to the one in Garden Grove, and I was like, man, this is really cool. Like, we gotta get more people here, like, follow their Instagram and, like, you know, just do stuff, get some stickers or anything, but because you just want to see them thrive, because this is like stuff that you never really saw growing up, right?
I mean, look at you, perfect
Yeah.
segue.
That's
there.
sick.
No,
Yeah.
like this Barong's hoodie is from Illa Manila.
Yeah. Shout out.
And,
Shout out
shout out Illa
Manila.
Manila.
They make dope stuff.
Make bigger sizes, please, so I can
but,
buy
but
it.
shout out to Illa Manila, but not only just giving me this hoodie, right? Shout out, it's the only one in this color, by the way. Oh my
Hey.
goodness,
That's
how cool
that's
is that?
a dope
Exclusive.
hoodie.
No,
Look
but
at
for
the
real, like
detail.
Did it
shout out to
start
Illa
out
Manila because
dark gray and
when
you
they
washed
dropped
it?
me, when they dropped this off and gave this to me,
Yeah.
they brought like 8 people to my live stand-up show in San Diego.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
Filipino American businesses
that's
support.
what
That's
support
support,
looks
yeah.
like.
That's what
That's being an
support
ally.
really looks like.
Yeah.
You know, when I can hit Ryan up and be like, yo, I'm going to be in San Diego. Okay, cool. I'm going to bring a gang of folks, and I'm going to bring you some gear, and I'm going to bring some gear for the stand-up comedians on the show.
Yeah.
That's the way you support.
Yeah, just
That's
like Ginger Dimapasok, the owner of Cafe 86.
Uh-huh.
And
Time out. Can we talk about Ginger real quick? I have a story. Do you have a story? Go ahead.
Yeah.
I have a thing.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I like
Yeah,
ginger.
so
You
it's-
struck a nerve, by the way.
Oh, is it good?
It's a good nerve.
Okay,
But
yeah.
it's a very strong.
Yeah, Ginger's great for like whenever anybody wants her to like cater for any sort of Filipino event. She always gives a ton extra.
Nice.
Like I had a buddy, I think he's also cousins with her, but he had like an EP release show. He had like 2 giant gallons of the like calamansi lemonade,
Oh,
and there was like so much extra. And then even just like any other of the like desserts, just 2-3 trays extra.
Yeah.
She's always like supporting and just always
that's
like,
cool.
giving too much. So it's like,
So
Yeah.
what I had every year I do the Christmas show.
oh yeah.
The second Christmas show that I did at SIPA, we had 0 sponsors, right? And I'm like, I gotta feed my people. Like, what am I gonna do? So I reached out to a few folks. I reached out to Ginger. She doesn't know who I am. She does not know who I am. I hit her up. I'm like, hey, we're doing the show. It's like Filipino magician. I don't know if you've heard of another Filipino magician, but I'm trying to do this show for Christmas because I like Christmas and I want to I always loved your stuff. Want to put your stuff out there. If you probably don't need that much exposure. I was very back and forth with it.
Yeah.
How Filipinos are, but
Yeah.
but you don't have to. But
Like
also,
downplaying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, cool. Just send someone to pick up some stuff. She dude for free, just like a bunch of shit, right? Which was awesome. And I shouted her out in the show and online. And then 10 years later, damn near 10 years later, I see her at Kumu for the women empowerment thing held by SIPA. I go up to her and I'm like, hey, listen, nice to meet you. My name's Andre. I don't know if you remember this, but I sent you an email 5 to 10 years ago. She's like, you're the magician. And we catered your Christmas show. And I'm like, God damn it, dude. And it fucking broke me down.
Yeah.
And I was like, will you be my Nina? No, but shit like that is the very embodiment of what how to look out for your own people.
Right.
and to be honest, bro, and I'm not trying to rush to talk about my special, but it really does kind of link in. To
And that's enough time we have. I'm just like,
no.
joke.
No, but no, because I mean, that's kind of what you guys asked me to come here for, was to talk about my special and Tagalog Kurt. But to talk. But my special, like, was my greatest lesson in asking for help
Mm-hmm.
and accepting the help and not worrying about
Pride.
anything. But you know, because you know, it's like, oh, we can do all of it. I can do all of it. I can produce it. I'll be the producer. I'll write the show. I'll perform for an hour. I'll host the show. I'll do it. I'll do it all because I don't want to relinquish control of any of it because I know somebody else will fuck it up.
I am the
mean,
same
that's
way.
Yeah.
That's just real. That's just that's 100% honest. The first thing that I thought, and luckily enough for me, man, I have a very good best friend, my friend Joel Masonette, who's been my best friend since high school, and he helped me produce one of my first shows that I ever produced. He has been the guy in the booth, or my guy in the booth for every show that I've come back to in Chicago, and he's just been the ultimate. But he's been my best friend, right? And he stopped me, and because I was so excited when 4x3 reached out, they were like, "Yo, we want to film your special." And then I did the research, and I'm like, "Oh shit, this is legit. This is real." I sent the contract to my agent. I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm about to sign this shit." And my best friend called me, and he's like, "Bro, are you sure you're really ready for this, or are you just trying to make sure that, like, I just want to make sure you're ready." And that dude was the only dude that checked in with me, right? But at the same time, it also made me step back, and I was like, you know what? I need help. I need a venue. I need to be able to sell that venue, because this is just like quick. I was just in Chicago in December. I did two shows by myself on my own, independent producer. 6 people in the first one. 4 people in the next one. So obviously my independent producing skills of getting people into a show weren't very good in December. So in January I knew. I was like, fuck. And my best friend was there for those shows. So he's like, are you ready for this, bro? Like, are you ready to, like, you can't do a special to 10 motherfuckers. You can't. It's not going to work. You got to have a full house. You got to fill it up. You got to make it so that you feel the crowd and hear the crowd and the whole thing. And I'm like, of course, I know. And so I reached out to the Filipino American theater company that I worked with in Chicago. They gave me one of my first theater gigs in Chicago, Circa Pintig. And I was like, can you help me? And they were like, oh, yeah, we'll make your program and we'll send your flyer and promote it with all of our email lists and and you can host our gala and all these different things. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, cool. And then I reached out to another homie, the first dude that produced my first show in Chicago, and I was like, Laki, can you help me? And Laki Siap, who runs the Chicago Asian Network in Chicago now, 10 years removed from the first show that he ever did with me at Dave and Buster's. And now he's producing shows for Steppenwolf and helping promote Steppenwolf shows in big time theaters in Chicago. So I'm like, can you help me? And of course, that organization bought 50 tickets to the show.
Nice.
And the show was sold out. And, it was my best lesson in saying, bro, you can't do this by yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody can. You have to ask for help. And if you don't ask for help, and then if that help isn't given, because most of the time they just want to pay you at exposure.
Yeah.
Or they want to do this, or they want what's coming to them before they try to give you some help.
Right.
And just like in the case of that chef who just remembered you 10 years later, even afterwards, because that's the type of person who wants our culture, our people, our collective to succeed.
Right.
It's not just about the individual. And I think that if we keep doing that, whether it's podcasts with the 4 of us or it's 400 of us in a room, it's gonna dilute the stuff that you were talking about.
Real quick before we end, we got a draft.
Ooh.
Draft
Did
time.
you with that?
Yeah.
Is that why there's a draft?
Miller Genuine Draft.
Yeah.
3-round draft. You go around Filipino organizations to check out that are really for the culture.
Well, I literally just said 5 of them.
I'm
take
gonna
the
steal
other
one
2.
of them.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You want to start it off?
Me?
Yeah, you're the guest.
How many do I have to say?
We're gonna go by rounds, but
3 rounds.
think of 3 of them.
Okay, well, the first one I'll shout out is Circa Pintig. It's
Okay.
been 31 years, Chicago's longest running Filipino American theater company.
Cool. Fake.
I'm gonna go with PwC. They're good, like Filipino Worker Center over in Hi-Fi here in LA. Yeah, doing a lot of like community events and like holding space and just like providing a space for folks to gather and other sort of community based. Honestly, don't know as much as what they do, and I definitely should. However, I just know of the space because of like Sunday Jump and other mics and like doing events and holding space for other Filipino creatives to like meet
Hell
and
yeah.
like hang out.
EJ.
Yeah, a small business called Ember Snow.
Bruh, there
Please
it is.
support your local artists. But no, I'm not really part of the artist community. But I do know. When I was in college, I was part of Kababayan, and Kababayan like kind of opened me up to a lot of things. They have like different pillars: social, political, all the other ones you guys know, academic. But if you're in college and you're at UCI, go ahead and check them out. There's something for someone anywhere in that community.
Word. I'm gonna go Cafe 86. I mean, they
Yeah,
helped me
there
out
you
with
go.
the show, but that was mentioned earlier. So one that wasn't mentioned in the show. Shout out to Park's Finest. Park's Finest
dude.
Filipino Barbecue and
Yo.
Hi-Fi. Also, they own Thunderbolt LA right next door.
Yeah.
The best old fashioned I've ever had.
Dude, the Filipino Boxing Club?
Yeah,
Bro, that's my
Filipino
drink there.
Boxing Club. But they've done
yeah.
so much for the community. The last holiday show, we donated a part of the proceeds to them.
Yeah.
And they're just really cool. So
Yeah.
shout out to John, Eric, and Christine. Park's Finest.
Do I do another one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one would be. I'm trying to think now. Oh yeah! Shout out to Brewyard Brewery
Hey.
in Glendale, California. My California, my karaoke comedy spectacular show has ran there for 4 years, and they have calamansi flavored beer and ube flavored beer and
The Ube one Kenobi.
Yeah. Oh, dude, they're
Yeah,
really
that
they do it right over there. So yeah, shout out to Brewyard Brewery and
Yeah. I saw you do like 5-10 minutes with the Filipino stand-up group.
yeah.
We were there like a couple months
No,
ago.
it was funny because when I first approached them, this was like 5 years ago. I approached them about doing shows there. They were like, "We tried doing comedy here and it just doesn't work." And I'm like, "Well, let me see if I can."
Yeah.
Let me see if I can try and do it, and because I really would love to have. What I dreamed was, an audience full of Filipinos drinking calamansi flavored beer and having
yeah.
a chara food truck eating
Right.
food, and
Heck yeah.
and for about the first year to year and a half, that's what it was. It was great. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately the pandemic. So,
Right.
but
No.
even then, they still held me down after we started doing live. So shout out to Brewyard. Kirk and Sher went out there. I love you guys.
Next.
And I'll fill out my W-9. I'm sorry about that.
Your social is. This isn't exclusively Filipino, but East-West Players. 'Cause
Yeah,
They do a lot of, it's like a theater company. And I just finished up a intro to acting class, and the teacher was Filipino, Dom Magi. I forgot how to say your last name. But shout out to Dom Magili.
I did my first play in LA at East West Players.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I understudied and then got to go on in the last weekend of the show. So
Nice.
for art. Yeah, I'll never forget that show. That was great. My first play in LA. East West Players. Awesome.
I'd say Nilly's Burgers. That place is pretty dope, owned by I think Renil and his partner. But that place is pretty good. They have really good burgers in Artesia.
Artisha?
Artesia, my Artesia. Yeah, I went there because Social Hour Running Club, another really good one. They hosted a run every Wednesday, and they started there, and they do like 3 to 6 to 9 miles or whatever. Damn, she fine miles. And yeah, right.
There it is.
Yeah, and then after the run, you get to grab a burger. Stop by. They're pretty damn good.
Hell yeah.
It's like a smash burger.
Nice.
Nice.
Pass burger.
Oh no, I do not
Smash-
pass that
smash-
burger. I
smash
smash
burger.
that burger.
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out. Palms Up Academy, Filipino led Shout out to Ariana Bosco. She's been a mentor to me, really good friend. But if you're an artist in SoCal, check it out. It's an open mic Wednesday nights. But it's a pretty cool artist collective. Everyone's really supportive. Not exclusively Filipino, but it's like for the community, for the culture. So last round.
The Filipino culture that I would want to make you guys make sure you know about is the Mini Pacquiao.
Check out Mini Pacquiao
Yeah,
on
yeah.
YouTube.
Only because I have T-shirts that I want to sell.
Support.
Support.
Damn, I was
So-
gonna go that way with my last one.
Shout out to this Filipino organization here sitting in front of you, Erick Esteban, and support me at Erick Esteban Comedy and at TikTok, and watch out for my special called Miscellaneous Brown because it's dropping soon. I'm not sure when. I might actually reach out and find out when it's dropping because I'd like to know myself.
Isn't there a producer, Miscellaneous Brown? Like a music producer?
That's Prometheus Brown.
That's Prometheus. Yeah, I was like,
Oh, it is.
I stole it.
Blue
Oh, yeah.
He's a blue scholar.
But
Nice.
he's Prometheus. I'm just miscellaneous.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Last one.
I was gonna say.
Fictitious Brown.
Fictitious Brown.
That's right, fictitious professor.
Chase Market in Pasadena.
Answer his text.
I know. Respond to my text. I know where you work. But yeah, it's a dope little Filipino market. They also have a Toro Toro spot. They're
Like you dance?
Toro Toro.
yeah. I want that. Toro Toro.
Cool.
But yeah, respond to my text.
Amber's no. Kazumi.
Yeah, I'd say check out Pinoy Pam's Best in Lake Forest. They kind of held it down for me in South County if I'm ever craving some Filipino food that wasn't my mom's.
Nice.
It's kampangpangan food though, so it's a little different.
Dang.
But yeah, they have
Come in what?
come in my hand pangan. Yeah.
That's gross.
You know, people eat with that hand.
Yeah, we
The
don't
left-
even we use our hands.
Left
so
hand,
no,
left hand. The other hand.
That just feels like I'm cheating.
That's your napkin. That hand is your napkin.
No, the palm. This is your napkin.
Oh, the back of the.
The palm is not your napkin.
Forearm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just go up.
Yeah.
So
So
you
you
wear a
gotta
sweater.
borrow someone else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, last one. Man, fucking Magic Arrows, man.
Heck yeah, dude.
How
Shout
how
out
often,
to yourself.
How often do you see 5 world-class magicians, all Filipino?
Whenever they have a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Four world-class magicians and Dre. all Filipino. Man, I wish I practiced more.
Dre's
But I'm busy organizing.
He's only high school class.
Yeah, high school class. I'm a college bachelorette party class. Now we're doing a bunch of shows. Big Halloween show promised this time.
For sure.
For
Promise,
sure. And then we're doing a bunch of sponsor shows that are exclusive. So if you want to be invited to that, just hit me up here at the PanDeSoul podcast. Crossing streams now.
Leave a comment.
Leave a comment.
This is only a good time to cross streams.
Yeah. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the PanDeSoul podcast for this week. I've been your host, the Dre Magics, along with the other 2 hosts, EJ and Fick, and our special guest, Erick Esteban. Where can they find you on the internet?
At Erick Esteban Comedy, ErickEsteban Comedy. I don't know how to spell comedy.
Come die.
But yeah, that's the best place to hit me up.
Yeah. And make sure you check out all our most recent and previous episodes, I guess, on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the things on the internet. And of course, until then,
Don't forget your bot one.
peace.
O sige na, Pandeez.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of PanDeSoul.
And check out previous episodes on Spotify and YouTube.
Thanks for laughing, and join us next week because there's enough PanDeSoul to go around.
And don't forget your baon!